Honorable Minister, and we assure you that we'd work with the Department of Science and Technology with the guidance of the Honorable Minister. Let me now request the Shri S.K. Varshney, Head of the International Cooperation, Bilateral, in the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, to please provide an overview of the India-Ethiopia Innovation, Technology Transfer and Commercialization Program. And he has been a staunch supporter, and we couldn't have done this Global R&D Summit 2019 without him. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, respected ministers, Director General, FICCI officials, and Research and Innovation Circle, Hyderabad. Dear innovators, friends, colleagues, a very good morning to you all. India and Ethiopia have been partnering for quite long. Addis is one of the favorite destinations. We are doing basic science cooperations, which is already in good flow. And now we have decided to go a step further. And what we are trying to do is launching a new program on technology innovation, technology transfer, and commercialization between India and Ethiopia. So how we are doing it, we are going to link to match socio-economic need of Ethiopia by linking Ethiopian industry with Indian technologies, innovators, startups, so that they can go and work for the socio-economic needs. And for this purpose, we have requested FICCI to be our delivery partner, and FICCI would be entering into an arrangement with Ethiopian Ministry of Innovation Technology to create and provide this platform. How we are targeting this? We would target that over a period of next 5 years, if we could deploy and demonstrate at least 50 technologies. So in Ethiopia, Indian technologies. So that way we would like to go. We would do several exercises in between in the process, which would be like hand-holding, tech expos, and so that we can promote techno-entrepreneurship in these areas. And of course, all these exercises would be rigorously assessed time to time so that they are on their path and we could deliver much desired goal. And what you saw a little ago, like we had the first year report of the India-Rwanda program. So similarly, time to time, we would be progressing that how India and Ethiopia in this technology commercialization are moving ahead to meet the socio-economic needs of that country. So we will request two ministers, Honorable Minister for Science and Technology and Ethiopia of Government of India and Minister of Innovation Technology of Ethiopia to launch this partnership. Are we going to do something? So, request. Yeah. So we have created a. So I'll request both of you to please press the button so that we could have this.
Thank you, Honorable Ministers. Thank you, Mr. Varshney. May I now request, as a formality, to proceed with the program. We have inked an MOU that spells out the working relationship between FICCI and the Ministry of Innovation and Technology of Ethiopia. May I now request Mr. Nirankar Saxena and Dr. Khalid to exchange your MOU very quickly. Dr. Khalid is the Director General of the center that will make this possible. Thank you very much. That bodes well, augurs well for the start of the program, and thank you, Honorable Ministers, both of you, for being here for this auspicious start to the program. May I now have the privilege of inviting the Honorable Engineer Getahun Mekuria, Minister of Innovation and Technology, the Government of the Republic of Ethiopia, to offer his special address.
Honorable Dr. Vardhan, Honorable Minister of Science, Technology, Environment, Forestry, Climate Change and Earth Science of the Government of India, Honorable Professor Law, Minister of Higher Education, Government of Zambia, all protocols observed. Today, for me personally and for the Ministry of Innovation and Technology of Ethiopia, it has been a great day. It has been a huge day, and allow me to thank the Indian government, the Ministry of Science and Technology of the Government of India, Dr. Vardhan, DST, Department of Science and Technology of India, FICCI, all involved over the last 1.5 years, I guess, in the cooperation, in the making of the cooperation for the success that we have witnessed today. My own staff from the Ministry of Innovation and Technology, Dr. Khalid and his team, and also from the DST who have been heavily engaged. I'm very much thankful, I'm very much happy today, because what has been in progress over the last 1.5 years, I guess up to 2 years, has bear fruit. And also let me use this opportunity to thank, to congratulate the government of Rwanda for having a very successful 1 year. And I'm happy that we have a good reference, and that's Rwanda. So I'm sure if India is successful in Rwanda, I assure that again you will have a second success in Ethiopia over the coming years. Honorable Minister Dr. Harsh, I really remember that we met the first time in Addis Ababa International Airport while he was transiting. We had a very nice discussion. And I also remember Dr. Harsh giving me his own book, which says The Tale of the Two Drops. And I read that book, he wrote that book, and I could see, Mr. Minister, your contribution in the Indian health sector, in the Indian industry, and I really want to thank you for the contribution I have read in that book, and that's why I'm here today to take those huge experiences here in India, starting from the Honorable Minister to all scientists in CSIR, to all universities in India, to all private companies in India. We in Ethiopia need those engagements as we implement the new center. So today, between the Indian government and the Ethiopian government, we have witnessed the launching of the Center for Innovation, Technology Transfer and Commercialization, which will be implemented over the coming 5 years. And I would love to give my commitment, the commitment of my ministry and of the government of Ethiopia, that this project is going to contribute a lot for the development of my country. Especially, as I tried to explain yesterday, we will be focusing on two sectors, Honorable Minister. The first one will be the agricultural sector, from end to end, in increasing the productivity and production of our agricultural sector, both in the livestock and also in the crop agriculture, and also in agro-processing, agri-business, commercialization of all agricultural products. And as you know, that's that link, that interface between the actual agricultural output and the industry, that is the agro-processing and agri-business, is where India has been very much successful, and where what we in Ethiopia would love to learn those lessons from India. So my first focus in implementing the new Center for Innovation, Technology Transfer and Commercialization of the Indian Ethiopian will be heavily involved in agro-processing, agri-business and commercialization of agricultural products. And I also would love to request the heavy involvement of CSIR, FICCI in this area, and all Indian companies who have very strong interest to come to Ethiopia. We will love to see you in Ethiopia. Honorable Minister, the second focus I would love also to learn from India, and where CSIR and FICCI should help us, is in the health sector and pharma sector. We have a population of more than 100 million, and if we have to talk about population, it should be about health and pharma products. And India has been very much successful in this area, and also that sector, health sector, pharmaceutical products, health supplies, is the second area we would love to invite FICCI, CSIR to be active in this new center. I would love also to express the engagement between CSIR and my government, especially in the laser industry. The engagement we have had over the last many years with CSIR in the laser sector has been one of our success, which we are taking fruits now. So that has to be extended to all parts of agricultural and health sector in the new engagement. So again, I will also call upon a new, I invite as a launching of this program in May. We are organizing an international exhibition. So I would love to invite FICCI and all involved, all interested, to make an international exhibition between Ethiopia and India in May 2019. So that maybe that I want to use that opportunity to launch the program, the center in Ethiopia, where the majority of Indian products, technologies would come, and exclusively, Mr. Minister, exclusively we will make Indian Ethiopian technology exhibition in May. So that is what I have been discussing with the Ambassador of India in Ethiopia, and we look forward for the very successful first Indian Ethiopian technological exhibition in Addis Ababa. And I would conclude by saying thank you very much, and a very huge, humble thanking from myself, especially for India taking Ethiopia as a partner in technology. Thank you very much.
We truly appreciate your remarks, Honorable Minister, and we assure you of our fullest cooperation. And like the Minister said from Zambia and the DG from Rwanda, this program bears success. It has all the signs and symptoms of actually creating socio-economic impact development, and we will deliver it. I do want to inform you that ICMR, the Indian Council of Medical Research, also has an exclusive relationship with us, and we will track them into the program just like we will CSIR and the Chemical Institute. May I now, ladies and gentlemen, take the honor and privilege and in advance thank the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Earth Sciences, Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Dr. Vardhan, for first coming here in his busy, taking time out of his busy schedule, and most importantly for blessing, guiding us through the years and particularly with this particular program in Africa and all the extensions that we've been able to do. I invite him to please deliver his keynote address. Thank you.
Dr. Getahun Mekuria, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Govt of Ethiopia, Dr. Nkandu Leo, Honorable Minister of Education, Science, Technology and Scientific Research, Govt of Zambia, Dr. Kampeta Sayinzoga, Director General, National Innovation Agency, Rwanda, Mr. T. Murlidharan, Chairman-FICCI, Telangana State Council and Chairman, TMI Group of Companies, Mr. Ajit Rangnekar, Director General, Research and Innovation, Govt of Telangana, Mr. S.K. Varshney, my colleague from Department of Science and Technology, Mr. Nirankar Saxena, Deputy Secretary General, FICCI, dear friends, colleagues, all the people from the corporate world, industry, scientists, researchers, innovators, good morning all of you friends. I am really happy to address this gathering of the DST-FICCI Global R&D Summit 2019 in this historic city of Hyderabad, in the progressive state of Telangana. I extend my hearty welcome to all of you, all the delegates, experts, speakers, and all the officials from various countries, especially from Africa and different states in India, who have contributed till now to successful deliberations at this summit. I would like to especially thank the Honorable Ministers of Africa and their senior officials and delegates for participating in this summit, for participating in the summit focused on the theme International Collaboration in Research and Development for Sustainable Growth with partner continent Africa. India's science and technology achievements have steadfastly triggered India's growth and delivered socio-economic impact development. The vision of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji is to share our technology and innovations for shared prosperity in our partner nations in Africa. India wishes to also create bilateral and multilateral platforms with like-minded South-South cooperation partners to forge collaborations to ensure sustainable growth in the developing countries. I am delighted to note that this year's partner continent is Africa. The Ministry of Science and Technology in India has been conducting multiple programs in and with Africa, implemented by FICCI's Center for Innovation, Science and Technology Commercialization, called FICCI CTAC. For several decades, India has provided scholarships to tens of thousands of African students at undergraduate, graduate, doctoral and postdoctoral levels. Researchers and fellows are invited to specialized institutions. We have helped this model and have established institutions of collaborative research, capacity building and enterprise development. Just 2 years ago, India began a new initiative. I would like to particularly mention of the first ever and unique technology sharing and transfer program, namely the India-Rwanda Innovation Growth Program that has successfully demonstrated that validated, robust affordable technology-led innovations from India can be adopted and adapted and deftly deployed for triggering sustainable and inclusive growth in our strategic partner country of Rwanda. I am delighted to note that in the very first year, this pilot program has matched 11 enterprises and institutions from India with 14 enterprises and institutions in Rwanda. The program is unique in that it assesses and addresses the need of the recipient country. In the first year, the India-Rwanda program matches include 100% compostable, affordable sanitary napkins that are critical to educating the girl child, women empowerment through livelihood creation, and most importantly, ensuring female hygiene and health to helping develop a full-blown leather park with the entire value chain and last-mile delivery of affordable, high-speed broadband that today is a must to fulfill the aspiration of the masses and ensure provision of services to them. India is now proud to scale this program by extending it to another important partner, Ethiopia. I hope that as an extension of these programs, we are able to stimulate collaborations in R&D and further innovate to potentially deliver present and future solutions. India is among the top-ranking countries in the field of basic research today. The year 2018 has seen India research and development with technology-led innovation getting further recognition as one of the most powerful instruments of growth and development. Department of Science and Technology, with the objective of promoting new areas of science and technology, plays the role of a nodal department for organizing, coordinating, and promoting science and technology activities in the country. Research and development in science and technology leads to innovation, and innovation in turn leads to economic growth. R&D typically comes from two sources, that is private R&D, which is what large companies in the area of pharma and electronics do, and public R&D, government exploration in defense, atomic energy, space, agriculture, etc. A survey conducted by the DST shows that India is amongst the top 13 countries in terms of share of the public sector in R&D. The countries in the list include the United States, Russia, United Kingdom, Spain, Korea, Mexico, Japan, Italy, China, Germany, France, and Australia. Over 80% of the R&D spent in India comes from market research. Agencies like Defense Research and Development Organization, properly called as the DRDO, India Space Research Organization, ISRO, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Department of Atomic Energy, Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, etc. India offers distinct advantages to encourage R&D. Firstly, the burgeoning aspirational middle class represents a huge market for a host of products. This is a great starting point for innovation and R&D. Secondly, India boasts of a large pool of an English-speaking manpower, which is hard to find in most countries. This makes execution of R&D plans much easier. Lastly, the government has a catalytic R&D policy, and the upgraded infrastructure in India is at par with most nations. India has instituted adequate regulatory and tax incentives. In many cases, India offers R&D super deductions to the tune of 200%, which is at par with the best in the world. From a direct tax perspective, R&D spending offers tax breaks and incentives for R&D contribution in the form of accelerated depreciation. There are incentives in indirect taxes such as customs duty exemption for import of specific goods for R&D, EPCG scheme application, etc. Beyond the central government incentives, state governments also offer additional incentives for R&D. Science and technology, research and development, and now innovation is the culture of a new and dynamic India. Despite our immense challenges, the Government of India and the state governments, academia and the industry have begun to forge a synergistic working relationship. The public at large has been drawn into the process. India has created an unparalleled innovation ecosystem. Well-funded schemes today induce innovative ideas that germinate from the grassroots, including tinkering labs at primary to higher secondary level, going up to grand challenges that involve young minds at colleges and universities. Technology and business experts mentor the conversion of validated ideas into products and services that solve problems. India boasts of premier R&D institutions, both private and public, that follow a focused approach with well-defined deliverables. Sector-specific employable skills drive manufacturing as well as delivery of services. All these fuel our inclusive and steady economic growth. India is a powerhouse today with cutting-edge technology and innovation on the one hand, and on the other we create sustainable social enterprises, especially in rural areas, and are able to scale enough of them. We are improvising the ecosystem every day, and we have it on offer not only within our country, but are willing and able to share it for shared prosperity with our partner nations. It is the only way to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The Global R&D Summit brings together tremendous global knowledge of nations, enterprises, institutions, and experts and best practices. This stimulates need-based technology transfers and acquisitions, R&D collaborations for our products and services of the future. Working collectively, India and developing countries, especially Africa, could create a new paradigm in South-South cooperation across thematic areas such as agriculture, food processing, healthcare, metals and mining, renewable energy, new materials, clean and green technologies, and many interventions that should help us to deliver inclusive and sustainable growth in our respective economies. I hope the deliberations have thrown up new ways and means to forge partnerships to put science and technology, R&D and innovations to address the present as well as future challenges. Friends, let me share with you, I just gave a brief account of how the country is in fact progressing under the dynamic leadership of our Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is a great visionary leader and who is not only appreciated in India right now, but is being appreciated all over the world. Just now when we are having this program, he just now received another international prize in Seoul, Korea, just now. And he already had, recently he received the United Nations highest award for working in the field of environment, the Earth Care Award. And similarly, a lot of other awards. But what I wish to mention that India is having a golden period under the able leadership of Narendra Modi ji. And he is a visionary leader who, in fact, enjoys the legacy of another great Prime Minister of India, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who was a great visionary leader again and who did so much for Indian science. And he was the one who brought science to the center stage of Indian politics when he was Prime Minister. And earlier, one of our Prime Minister had said, gave a slogan that it should be Jai Jawan and Jai Kisan. But our Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, added Jai Vigyan to that, means Jai Science. But the most recent development has been our dynamic Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji added one more dimension to it, that now it's not only Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan and Jai Vigyan, it's now Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan and also Jai Anusandhan. And this government is committed so much to research and developing of this innovation ecosystem. There is a very robust startup and stand-up program. Any young mind, old mind, whether formally educated or not, But if he has a bright idea in his mind, and he wants to convert that idea into an entrepreneurship program, he has the vision to deliver something good for the country, for the society, and in the simultaneously, you can say, stand up on his own feet. The government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi stands rock solid behind such individuals in terms of not only giving them financial support, but also mentoring them with the best possible minds in the country, best possible scientific acumen in the country, best possible research institutions in the country. And that is why, you see, in the last couple of years, we have seen so many innovations, in fact, accumulating. If you go and visit National Innovation Foundation in Ahmedabad, and she might be interested in that, we have over 2 lakh innovations there. And it's now, for us, the bigger issue and the bigger problem is that there are so many innovations. How do you really take them to the people of India? How do you commercialize them? And I can promise that if you take up, bring along with you significant time to spend in India and visit some of these places, some of our prestigious laboratories, whatever I am trying to convey, your visit to those places will speak volumes about what we are doing. And just to give you a brief idea about where does India's science stand today, at the official level in the whole world. You just now saw some of the CSIR things, and some of the CSIR technologies developed have been, they have seen collaboration happening, and they're being transferred to countries in Africa also. We have a list of 1,207 institutions like CSIR in the whole world. These are the institutions, whether they belong to US, UK, Germany, South Korea, Japan, Australia, Israel, whichever country you can think of. And these are the institutions, 1,207, like CSIR, who are supported by government money. They are funded, they are like, they enjoy public funding. They do research, they develop technologies, they then transfer those technology for the benefit of people. And in that list of 1,207 today, officially, as per the international Shimago ranking, India stands at 9th position in the whole world. That's the level of development of science in India. We are 3rd in the whole world in terms of nanotechnology. In tsunami early warnings, we are probably number 1 in the whole world. In weather forecasting, cyclones, assessments, warnings, and all these studies about oceans and all, we are 4th in the whole world. Means we have a 10 petaflop supercomputing mechanism, and we are 6th in the whole world in terms of our scientific publications in reputed journals of the whole world. Our growth rate for science publications is 14%. You will be surprised that the international growth rate is just about 4%. So it's almost in every field that you can think of in science, we enjoy, I think, a very good position, and our Prime Minister has a very clear vision that he wants to make India amongst the top 2-3 scientific nations of the whole world by the year 2030. So I can promise that this movement of cooperation with South Africa, and more particularly focused on science and technology and innovations. And then, of course, we have a strong belief that technology could be local, but science is overall universal. It is for anything developed anywhere by anyone in terms of research in any lab, anywhere in the world. It is for the betterment of mankind. It is for helping the human beings. It is for ensuring that we are able to alleviate the sufferings of people with the help of science and technology. And being a science and technology minister for almost 5 years now, I have this firm conviction now, and this I say after having visited every scientific institution in this country, and after having seen science from very close quarters, after having gone into the nitty-gritty of things, after having seen the work of the scientists through the microscope also, I have this firm belief that science has the potential to solve every problem on this earth. And if we could use science to be a, you can say, fulcrum of ensuring that we give a better world to the whole society, I think science has a huge potential. And I'm sure that you three senior people who have come from 3 countries, I think you, after having worked in science, must also have the same feeling. So I strongly feel that this is a very, very important meeting where we are now collaborating about the research and its developments, also trying to exchange the benefits that have been developed from science and trying to share them for the people of this world. I'm sure that meetings like this will go down in history as very strong meetings which will certainly help the people of with Africa. We have a very emotional relationship for years and decades and centuries, and I think whenever we go to Africa, we feel so like it's like a great feeling which difficult to describe. It's at least it's beyond my vocabularies. And the great Mahatma Gandhi ji has also, I think, institutionalized that relationship into something big and something really pious. So, and of course, Nelson Mandela ji, I fondly remember that when I became a minister for the first time 25 years back, and Nelson Mandela ji had just come out of jail, we gave a civic reception to him in New Delhi. So he in fact represents the whole of that continent. So it's a great feeling. I'm sorry I couldn't come to the meeting yesterday, but I'm happy that another country and my dear friend has also joined this movement of cooperation, and I would pray to God that we make it a big, huge success. Thank you so much.